I think the most important thing is to really be you and not just feel like you have to step into who an actor is or what an actor does, because being yourself and being truthful in that and just being genuine and lovely and kind and all of those sort of basic things that your parents may have told you when you were a kid is really important, and also just playing the long game and not feeling like in that moment you have to have that desperate feeling of today might be the day, this person is going to change everything for me, because they may not, and they may not change it in that instance, but it may be a relationship, it may be the beginning of a relationship that develops over time, and you never know how your paths are going to cross. So I would definitely say always play the long game rather than that short game. I think actually the performance side is the easiest part, because if you're an actor, you usually just have that instinct, and it's something like a muscle that you just work. It's like riding a bike, you never forget. I think the behind the scenes bit is hard. Perhaps losing confidence or making sure that you're in the right place and still feeling good about yourself, maybe earning money on the side, and just keeping that positive mindset as well. So I talk a lot about that in my book, and also with my one-on-one sessions, because people need that kind of support. You can't necessarily phone your agent and say, oh, I'm having a bit of a bad week, and you never want to be the actor that's kind of always phoning and saying, is there anything happening, or why is it quiet, or so I think it's all that stuff behind the scenes and pulling everything together, so when that opportunity comes, you're really in the right headspace to accept it and relish it. It's wonderful. It's just, I can't, I still, every acting job that I do, I still can't believe that I get paid to do it. It's such a treat, and it's certainly something that I never ever take for granted. I think we're so lucky to do what we do, and to be those people at school that, you know, and maybe it came to you later on, that find something that you truly love and find something that you really connect with in that way. And it's always something that I always come back to if I ever feel like I'm having a dry spell, or things are maybe not going in the direction that I thought. I always come back to, I love it. So, and go from that place, because if I kind of go, why isn't it happening, or put all the emphasis on out there, that never really helps me. I think one thing that I could definitely say is something that I hear a lot, which is the phrase new level, new devil. So you're always supposed to keep learning and growing and going to that next level. So if you get that kind of fear when you're in a room, or you know that you're going up to that next level, it's okay. Sometimes you are supposed to get nervous. Sometimes you are supposed to feel a little bit out of your comfort zone, and that's absolutely fine. It's totally natural. But one thing that I would say is never just get complacent. Always keep going back to, how can I add value? How can I be the best version of me? For example, I signed with a new agent last week, and you know, I've written a book about it, and I could have gone and like, yeah, I know this, but I went back to the basics of, what do I want to share? How do I want to approach the meeting? And how do I want to connect with this person? And really went back to the standard things that we know of being polite and all the rest of it. But if you don't have the basics in place, nothing else will happen really. I think also as well, you have to really know what kind of agent that you want. Some people really thrive well and in a huge agency where they are with a big name, for example, and some people really want that sort of boutique one-to-one connection sort of situation. So I have a whole chapter of it in my book, and if you look at it from that point of view of, where do I excel, what kind of relationship do I want to harness, and do you want to be with a big agent or a small agent? Really do your research in advance, because if you write 20 amazing letters rather than 200, you're more likely to get a response, and you're more likely to build a connection with somebody in that way. So and also as well, question what you think about agents. Some people still have this notion that they're all scary, they're all frightening, and they'll never read my letter anyway. But I was actually an agent agent for 5 years as my out of acting work, and that was one of the things that people always said to me, oh, you're actually really lovely. Oh, you're really nice. And I was like, yes, I am. I'm a normal person, and I want to get actors on the book. And I really found personally that if I was kind to people and if I supported people and nurtured people, then I would get really great responses from people, because they weren't frightened and spending half their morning going, oh no, I've got to phone my agent. So yeah, one thing that I would say is also don't get overwhelmed by the name of the agency that you necessarily want to be. It's all about the connection with the person and feeling like you can really engage with them and respond, and it's a joint partnership, so make sure that you're working alongside each other, not spending half the morning being frightened to phone them.